Hi, I'm Alex Van Zale, a Squamish resident and landscape designer at Tom Barrett Landscape Architects in Whistler. I'll be instructing this fall 2024 optional regional studio called Corridor Communities and the Case of the Sea to Sky. In this clip, I'll take you on a bit of a ride, first looking at our region from the context of BC and then zooming in. In the background, we'll roll through a series of images I've taken of the area to give you some first impressions. Almost our entire province is mountainous, with a distinctly north-south orientation and therefore north-south oriented valleys. There's crisscrossing, but communities such as the Kootenays, Okanagan, Vancouver Island corridor, and of course the Sea to Sky tend to be distributed along these north-south lines. They also have distributed populations over large areas, a highway, usually a railroad, and a complex patchwork of ownership, industry, jurisdiction, First Nations, and attractions. Sometimes there's only one way in and out, and this proximity to wildness, to nature, is of course what makes them so desirable as places to live and visit it, but also vulnerable. In our modern economy, people, water, food, energy, and resources have to move up and down them efficiently and quickly, driven by fossil fuels and other patterns of extraction, often dependent on inputs and outputs from large urban centers. But what if we don't want to move faster? Or what if those connections get disrupted or congested? And what if the corridor benefits you relative to where? How can we integrate resilience and redundancy within the system to take the pressure off? Is connectivity and speed always the answer? Or should we slow down to rewire and reshape our relationship with nature so that it becomes much more than wildness? Now to the Sea to Sky, BC's most iconic corridor, hardly needs an introduction. Touted as being one of the most scenic drives in the world, it's an almost uninterrupted panorama of breathtaking views. It also passes through the traditional territories of the Tsleil-Waututh, Squamish, Lil'wat, and Stapmic nations. The three largest communities are Squamish, Whistler, and Pemberton, and there are multiple provincial parks, recreation sites, and nature-based attractions, an agricultural valley. It's home to Whistler Blackcomb, North America's #1 ski hill, and 9.5 million people travel that highway each year, and 60% of them are sightseeing. And that's one of the corridor pressures we're talking about. To list other challenges, reconciliation, wildfire, industry pressure, a growing population, natural disasters, human-animal conflicts, water and food security, an ongoing biodiversity crisis, to name a few, all of which intersect with mass tourism by means of that highway. How can we evolve our relationship with the corridor so that a powerful economic driver like tourism can become regenerative? What would redundancy and resiliency look like here? For this Sea to Sky studio, we'll get out into the region and collaborate with the people that know it best. Representatives from Squamish, Whistler, Pemberton, and the Squamish-Lil'wat Regional District have come together to identify a short list of regional issues for you to tackle. They'll be speaking on behalf of their communities and their First Nation partners, and will provide you with feedback as you go. Small student groups each will take on a particular issue and approach it from the perspective of the corridor, thinking critically about connectivity, disconnectivity, and redundancy. You'll look at the region as a whole and then zoom into a section of the highway. Because each student will tackle one or two specific problems, collectively you'll have thought broadly and deeply about the region as a whole to imagine a more resilient system. Rather than competing, you're also collaborating, which is exactly what we need to do if we really want to address the issues of our time.